Hey, Nancy.
Catherine, how are you?
Doing okay, thanks. How you doing?
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. I have all my windows wide open and my neighbors are out having a barbecue with music.
Well,
So I don't know how loud it's going to get.
I don't hear anything. I have my windows open too, and we'll see how it goes.
That's good. Good. I'm glad you can't hear it. They're not that loud. I just have the window wide open. It's Prospect Park. The houses are practically on top of each other.
Right. So we can just mute in that you just click your box and there's that blue thing. In
Yeah.
case it does get loud. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Hopefully I won't have to.
Yeah, I had a lot of meetings today, and the street sweeper was out, and garbage collection. I had to keep my window closed because
Yeah, it's fun working from home. Honestly, if the building wasn't so spooky late at night, I'd probably hang out there and um, do the meeting there. But our meetings take too long, so it gets spooky.
yeah, you don't want to be there. And
No.
the the guys aren't there either, so you'd be all by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. The
Is
building I'm okay in. Like I said, it's a little spooky,
yeah,
but it's when I leave the building to walk to my car in the parking lot. That's what's spooky.
yeah, yeah. I can appreciate that. Well, you made the wise choice.
Yeah, but we just have to. Now someone started a lawnmower.
Hi, Catherine and Nancy. I'm just saying hello before you get started. I'm probably going to mute.
Hey, John.
You're growing your beard back.
No, I'm good. It's once we're really back in the building for curbside pickup or whatever it might be. Because of the mask, I'll probably clean shave almost on a daily basis.
Okay.
So just to be.
I heard Jersey City is going to start curbside soon. Did you hear about that, John?
No, but I don't even think they legally can until the governor lifts. They might. I mean, we're all preparing for it, but
Uh,
yeah,
maybe.
from what I've heard, you can't until the governor says so.
Ah, okay. So maybe it was just what you're saying, that they're kind of get people excited about it and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's most likely it. And we've got draft policy. Yancy saw some of our draft policies, and we're working on that. Who knows if it's going to be 2 weeks of that or 2 months of that, but we'll find out.
Yeah,
Sure. What are you going to do about all the books that like people have? Like I have like 7 books here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no fines and there's no due dates at this point, but when they come back, what most places are doing is actually they're going to quarantine the books for probably about 72 hours.
Oh, okay.
And anything that comes back will sit in a room for probably 72 hours before it then goes back out to someone else. Because apparently just the time is the best thing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's at least now, that's the recommendation most people are getting.
You have a Dropbox?
Yeah, we have a book drop. Yeah.
Okay.
We've been telling people not to use it as of now, but of course sometimes stuff's in there. But
I want to take out some books instead of buying it. How do I do that?
you have to wait for the governor to lift the ban on not the ban, but the governor to lift the order to close us.
Well, Michael lives in New York, so he has a different story.
Yeah, talk to Cuomo, I guess.
No, I mean, I can still get books from Englewood.
No, you can't.
I have a card.
All right. Go to the building tomorrow.
Well, so
I have a holiday coming up Friday, Saturday. I need to read stuff.
Go to BJ's. They got tons of books. That's where I've been picking mine up from.
How much do you pay for each one?
The paperbacks are $4.99.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the library is 0, so.
Oh, yeah, you don't get that option yet. Where is everybody? Everyone's gonna hop on at 7:30 on the dot?
So far, Catherine is the only council. Oh, Michael's here.
Michael.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bailey. Can you hear me?
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, all right. How's everybody doing?
How are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Sorry about your losses.
Yeah,
Terrible to hear.
crazy month, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to hear your
But yeah, it's this is one crazy virus.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Really rough for your family and all. But as Yancy says, it's good to hear your voice. Back on track.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. It's just cutting out there.
It's good to have you back, Bill.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to some degree of normalcy. So we're gonna me and Levi for this one as I get my head back in the game here.
We'll have a few more people joining us. Is Mr. Hamer here? He's the only one I'm not seeing.
Hi,
Hi, Mayor.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, Mike, you came out of the closet.
Yeah, my kids went biking, so figure I can use one of their rooms instead of my little office. We'll see how long I can get to keep it. Oh. My kids were all happy because they don't really have real office desk chairs. They have like folding chairs at all their Zoom locations for all their classes. And I got a call from the New York State Trial Lawyers executive director that they were moving offices and getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. So like, if you want to come, what do you need? And I just went and picked up like 4 office chairs. So this way they all have like, now I got like little kids on these nice leather like office chairs. So we just picked up. So they're happy.
Good. I still don't see Mr. Hamer.
Uh,
I'm looking for Mr. Hamer on here.
Hi, Cheryl.
Oh, there's Mr. Hamer. He's dialing in now. Boy, nobody wants to do video, huh? Everybody's on audio.
I need a haircut like you wouldn't believe.
You find one person to get a good haircut. Hi, Charles. Hi, Wayne. How are you, Mr. Bailey? How are you, Bill?
Hey, thanks, Mayor. Good.
I'm so sorry over your loss, my friend.
Thank you, and thank everybody. You guys have really been tremendous.
Overwhelming for you. And
Yeah. It's been a rough month.
Mr. Cobb, we have everyone here if you want to get started. Wait, I can't hear you. You're muted. Hang on. Okay, Mr. Cobb?
Okay,
Yep. We're ready to go whenever you are.
okay.
Have everybody here.
All right, I call this city council meeting of May 26, 2020 at 7:34 p.m. to order. Will everybody rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the
The
flag
flag of the United States of America
to the republic for which it
stands one nation under God,
under
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all.
justice for all.
Will the city clerk please read the Open Publics Meeting Act, please?
Sure. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Notice of this meeting was included in a notice sent to the Record and the Star Ledger and advertised in said newspapers on January 17, 2020. Posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. A copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:4-6 at SEEK and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103, issued by Governor Murphy on March 9, 2020, declaring a state of emergency and a public health emergency in the state of New Jersey, the city of Englewood does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens while ensuring the continued functioning of government, the city council meeting scheduled for May 26, 2020 at the Englewood Municipal Court, 73 South Van Brunt Street, Englewood, New Jersey, 07631, will be held virtually and telephonically via Zoom only. Members of the public who wish to participate in the meeting may do so by calling or clicking on the link, it's on our website, or by dialing 929-205-6099, followed by passcode 861-8151-2541 at 7:30 p.m. Individuals calling into this number will be able to fully participate in the meeting, including providing public comment. A non-public dial-in number will be used if closed session is required. Proper notice having been given, the municipal clerk is directed to include the statement in the minutes of this meeting.
City clerk, could you do the roll call, please?
Sure. Councilman Cohen?
Here.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Here.
Councilman Hamer?
Present.
Councilwoman Rosenberg?
Here.
Council President Cobb?
Here.
Also present is Mayor Michael Wilds and City Attorney Bill Bailey and Levi Cool.
Next business order, Resolution 124-05-26-20. Approved bills and claims. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Council President.
Go ahead.
On page, hold on, I'm looking at it sideways. On page 1 of 2 in the second kind of package, there's 1 of 6 and then 1 of 2. It looks like there was a mailing done for $5,000 from the city manager's office. I was just wondering what that was because it looks to be a different amount than most of our.
It's not a mailing. It's what we pay, and then we actually once we pay it to refill the machine, and then throughout the year we reclassify it to the correct departments.
Sorry, Michael, do you have two things open? Just close.
Because I see that we have other postage fees to different places than this NeoPost.
This is the postage. Like what? I would need an example.
Like on 1 of 6, it says $1,800 to postmaster, and then on page 1 of 2 in the next package it says $5,000.
Yes. So the $5,000 is for our postage machine. That's what we use in City Hall to mail out anything that we have to mail out. If we have to mail out letters, if we have to mail out purchase orders, anything we have to do, that's the NeoPost. The postmaster looks like it's a P.O. Box service fee.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? No? I have them. Mr. Kaufman, ServPro, $65,313. right?
Yeah.
Page, I believe, 545. So my question here is, why isn't that classified under state emergency services like all the rest of the sanitizing stuff is?
I'll tell you why. When we did the purchase order a couple of months ago, the purchase order was created a couple of months ago. We didn't have the line at that point. I already reclassified it. So in Edmunds, it's reclassified to it. So it's under the correct account in Edmunds. But when we did the purchase order, the way Edmunds works, we couldn't reclassify it already at this point. But it's in the correct account now.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Since we potentially or possibly could get reimbursed from FEMA, we should make sure that we don't lose anything and everything is in its right lane.
Either way, I had a spreadsheet already that has that. I have all the expenditures that we created before we had the actual budget account in Edmunds. So I already, and I'm in the middle of, I reclassified about half of it so far. So I already have a list that I'm reclassifying as we speak.
Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
I know I can, but can I? How much have we spent approximately? I know you don't know. Approximately, how much money have we spent on the covert?
No, I actually have that number in front of me. We spent $150,000 so far. We have $90,000 of open purchase orders.
Okay.
So we spent 150. We have 90, so it's 240 altogether.
40 altogether.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mr. Volsi is on the line.
Jack, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know why my video is not working.
I have a question, Mr. Volsi. Could you explain to me the $50,000 on the library elevator? What did we do there?
That is part of the repairs to the elevator at the library. That is actually the cost of so far all the equipment and materials that he had to purchase in order to start actually repairing the elevator. So that's just part and parcel of it. There's more to come. He hasn't started yet. This is just material he's purchased in order to actually start the repairs at the elevator.
Okay. And I have one more. I don't know who this is, but Mr. Kaufman, I guess you'll be the person for this. Rental microwave link. What is that?
That's for the
$10,296.80 on page 5 of it.
Yeah, that's for the fire department that they use. It's for their phone lines. I think it's like instead of the Verizon, it's Goose Down Communications. It's a monthly thing that we've had for years.
Monthly, but I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's been there.
It's been there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what I'm going to ask you, right? Then I'll look back on monthly to see that, but I don't recall that. Or it could be there and it wasn't that number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this is so far for the whole year. Usually it's around $2,000 a month. Maybe it's because
so maybe it's $2,000 a month. That's why it doesn't.
Yeah, stick out.
Okay. I got you. All right. Anybody else have any questions? No? Can we roll call?
Councilman Cohen?
Yep.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Hamer?
I'm going to vote yes, but Mr. Kaufman, would you do me a favor and would you send us a breakdown, recap on the COVID expenditures thus far for the year, and those that you have projected to spend that $90,000 you said that we have invoices for?
Yes, I'll send to the council the line item breakdown from Edmunds. I'll send it to the council.
And let me just ask you this, follow up on Councilman Cobb's question. The Goosetown communications, is this something, is it the link, it's something we're renting, as opposed to a piece of equipment that we should own that probably would cost less over time? I know you don't know the answer to that right off, but Is that something you can get an answer for and provide it to us?
Sure.
All right, thank you. And again, my vote is yes.
Councilwoman Rosenberg,
Yes.
Council President Cobb.
Yes. Next section, Special Improvement District, fiscal year 2021 budget, resolution 12505-26-20, resolution
I'm sorry, Mr. Cobb, but there's a typo. It's fiscal year 2021.
2021. I think I read that.
I have it written down. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading off on a different paper and I have 2020 written on it.
Yeah, no, it's 2021, correct?
It is.
Yeah, it's 2021, right. Resolution to allow the city's budget to be read by title only. City Clerk?
You need a motion and second.
We have
This
a
is for what?
motion, second.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Sorry, I was saying my system clicked out for a second by accident. This is for what?
This is to read the SID budget by title.
To read the subtitle? Okay.
Yeah, right now we're just at the title. So we have a motion and second to read it by title only. Otherwise we could have to read the entire resolution.
Yeah, sure. It just, my system just froze up for a second. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. All right. So do you want me to do a roll call, Mr. Cobb, or?
Yes, please.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Yes.
Councilman Hamer?
I vote yes.
Councilwoman Rosenberg?
Yes.
Council President Cobb?
Yes. Now we open up for a public hearing.
To the public, at the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button. Press on that, raise your hand if you have any comments related to the SID budget.
Oh.
Or if you're on video, raise your hand.
Do you see anything, Yancy?
No, I'm not seeing anyone raising their hand.
That's for the SID budget, correct?
This is for the SID budget, correct?
Okay, okay.
I'm not seeing anyone.
Okay, let's close the public hearing on that. Now we read next resolution, correct?
Correct.
Resolution 126-05-26-20, approving the Inglewood Special Improvement District budget for year 2021. I need a
So moved.
motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
I had a question. Yeah, Councilman Cobb, I had a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I know when the presentation was made by the SID president, he referenced that the dues had been forgiven, I think in the first quarter. But given the fairly generous budget that the SID has, I wondered if they were working on other provisions to help the businesses in the downtown.
May I respond? May I
Mr.
respond
Hamer,
to-
can you respond to that, please?
Yes. So in addition, Councilwoman Glenn, in addition to cutting in half the annual fee, so there's not going to be a charge for the first and second quarters of the fiscal year, which will be the balance of this year. The other items that are being contemplated are, we already have a plan in place, an agreement with the city to redo the parking meters, which I'll tell you right now, in light of the climate and the fact that there's not a whole lot of parking being utilized in the downtown area, it probably is not a great idea to proceed with that immediately. So we'll give that some further consideration and whatever it is that gets done, we'll certainly keep the city apprised at every step along the way. Additionally, one thing that we are going to do is to provide additional parking for downtown whenever the need occurs. And frankly, this lot is used a lot more than most of the other parking downtown, and probably not only because it's free, is the William Street parking lot. That's going to be resurfaced as right now it's currently gravel and dirt and huge potholes. So that's going to be resurfaced, and we'll put a parking kiosk in whenever that's done. And right now we're exploring all the neighboring and abutting properties and businesses so that we can make sure that this stays a fluid lot. But there are other items that we got to consider, and we're going to do an evaluation of what it's going to take to reopen, downtown, and some of the things that, from an infrastructure standpoint, the CID can help provide to the city, or in addition to the city, and the Chamber of Commerce to make things a lot more palatable for the merchants in the Special Improvement District.
That sounds good. Will you be able to update us with more specifics when you have them, Councilman Hamer?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you do hear every time we do anything, you hear, especially if it relates to expenditures of dollars, you hear about what is going on. So I'll continue to do that and make sure that you get specifics as we touch on projects.
Mr. Cobb?
Yes.
Yeah, Councilman Glenn, be assured Wayne and the CID are working very hard. I've attended every single meeting despite the pandemic by Zoom and so forth. They're working also on the Wi-Fi and trying to figure out all sorts of ways. And under their umbrella, even though it sits separately, the Chamber of Commerce is making sure that they put the right monies in the right ledger to help promote the businesses. So some of the things that the council has to kind of be privy to are decisions that should be taken now in the next days and weeks as to how to help the businesses. And the CID is deployed in a smart way to be effective, whether it's social distancing in the central business district and creating a better post-coronavirus platform for our businesses to succeed. Just to let you know, I'm not calling the businesses willy-nilly to see how I can help. I'm doing it under their umbrella because I want to make sure that we draw the right balance, and also that we deal with landlords. I'm hearing from a lot of landlords now that are hurting because their tenants are hurting. So really the work that Wayne and the CID are doing has become so much more important to the businesses as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? So, I believe, Rancy, we're for a roll call.
Yes. Councilman Cohen?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Yes.
Councilman Hamer?
Oh, yes.
Councilwoman Rosenberg?
Yes.
Council President Cobb?
I vote yes. Ordinances for public hearing, second reading. Nancy, you want to read this?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my neighbors have their lawnmower going. I'll read it fast. Bond ordinance providing for various 2020 capital improvements by and in the city of Englewood in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, appropriating $8,515,100, therefore including grants totaling $735,000 and authorizing the issuance of $7,409,615 in bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof.
I need a motion in a second.
We have to go in public hearing first.
Yeah, public hearing first, excuse me. We open this to public hearing.
Same thing for members of the public. Any questions, please go to the bottom of your screen, the reactions button, click on it, and just raise your hand through that. Give everyone a minute.
You see anything, Nancy?
No, I'm not seeing anyone raise their hand.
Okay, we're gonna close the public hearing. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Cohen?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Yes? Sorry, I have the lawnmower going.
Okay.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Yes.
Councilman Hamer?
Before I cast my vote, I just wanted to say that, while I'm in favor and understand that every capital request is worthy, but I still think we're missing on the larger and longer picture of managing our debt. And the more we continue to borrow and let it outpace the amount we're paying down, the worse we're making it for ourselves currently, and in particular, the people who live here and our children. So I'm going to abstain on this, for philosophical reasons that I've shared over and over again. But we can and we've got to do better. Thank you.
Councilwoman Rosenberg?
I am going to vote yes, because I don't think that we have been presented with a lower capital budget to vote on, and at this point we need to move forward, but I agree with Councilman Hamer's sentiments.
Sorry, I'm writing this down. Okay, Council President Cup?
So I have a comment as well. And I would like to put this on the next workshop agenda, that we consider an ordinance that we don't borrow more than we pay down. So that effectively will put the guardrails in place to address these issues. And in that fact, and when we borrow, we're borrowing not for this year, we're borrowing for next year as well. And we can reduce those projects and manage them a little bit better. So, but I'm going to vote yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Cobb.
I'm going to vote yes.
Thank you.
So we have no new ordinances for first reading. Public comment on agenda items. 127 through 134. And there will be a motion to adopt resolutions by unanimous consent. But public comment first.
Same for members of the public, bottom of your screen. Reactions button, raise your hand for any questions on any of the resolutions listed on the agenda. Not seeing any hands raised.
Really? So we're going to close the public comment portion of the meeting, and we're going to move to adopt by unanimous consent. I need a motion a second. I need a motion and a second.
Do you want to see if any council members?
Anybody have any questions? Any questions from the council or the mayor? No comments? Nancy, no comments? You don't see?
I don't see any hands raised now.
Move that we adopt by unanimous consent.
Excuse me, Councilman Hammond?
said I move that we adopt by unanimous consent.
I have one comment on item 134.
I think we just need to second, no? I'll second it.
Second, I have one, as I said, I have a comment on 134. This was something that I think we need to recognize our young people in this class of 2020 under the unprecedented environment that they'll graduate high school from. And I think that this is something that amongst a number of things that we should do to recognize all the graduates that live within the city of Englewood. I would be happy that everybody is going to move forward on this one as well as the others. Roll call.
Councilman Cohen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Glenn,
Yes.
Councilman Hamer,
Vote yes.
Councilwoman Rosenberg,
Yes.
Council President Cobb.
I vote yes. Next, we have communications from mayor and council. Mayor Wiles.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you to everybody that's joining us on these unprecedented times. I would like to thank Catherine Melendez and Gansey and just all the city leadership, our council president and so forth, for allowing what was, I think, a fabulous Memorial Day event. Olga Mascaro, may she have a speedy recovery and a meaningful one, was our Grand Marshal, and we had a wonderful time with her. And Frank Luciano's wonderful and abundant example. We thank the service men and women that have passed and those that are continuing to serve in our city and our nation. I also named the day after Olga, and previously in the week, the Emergency Medical Services Week, the Englewood Volunteer Ambulance Corps, noting their contributions as well. I also named the day after Sergeant First Class Maria Feliciano, who retired from the Army Reserves as well. For special recognition, I'd like to recognize Conchita, who is the mother of Flor Ramirez and grandmother of Planning Board member Manny Barrientos. She's been sewing masks for residents, the police department, the ambulance corps. She's a former seamstress with Oscar de la Renta, and that's part of our human resource that we're so fortunate to have. Chris Gagliardi, one of the 273 nominated for the Unsung New Jersey Heroes by the 2020 Russ Berry Making a Difference Award. And also to thank the Family Promise of Bergen County and the World Central Kitchen, who purchased meals from local vendors and restaurants and distributed literally 400 meals in 20 minutes for the last 2 weeks. I'd like to acknowledge the passing of our City Attorney, Bill Bailey's mother and father, sadly. Bill, you have our personal esteem for the extraordinary work you've done in the stewardship of our legal issues, but our heartfelt condolences. May you be comforted by the extraordinary love that you have for your parents, their memory, and given some measure of comfort that your colleagues here in the council and the mayor really do respect and love you and wish you only good feelings. I'd also like to acknowledge, if I can, the sad loss of Blanche Skurnick, a wife of former Third Ward Councilman Eugene Skurnick, of 53 years. Her parents, her grandparents, highly educated, her children taking extraordinary pride in the contributions she even made after her life to science. Gene, whether you like him or not, is somebody very special to the city. And we all like him, whether you agree with him or not, is the comment. And he was the stalwart husband in these last years to his wife. You have our personal esteem only for a meaningful time going forward. Again, wishing you comfort. The Memorial Day virtual ceremony, as I said, was highly appreciated, and we're looking to do all sorts of events to keep people in this new normal connected as well. Retail curbside pickup commenced as phase 1, reopening on May 18th. The COVID testing at Veterans Memorial Park, we only had about 84 out of the 500 plus people from the city of Englewood. It was a very successful turnout. Our numbers, thank God, are under control. and the county executive has indicated that he's going to deploy a second vehicle. Our deputy police chief, Greg Halstead, is working to get our residents at 111 West Street tested, and we have redundancies in place. And I tip my hat again to the city leadership for making this happen. It's only through contact tracing and testing that we'll go forward. I also appointed Scott Redeen to fill the seat vacated by Evan Hochberg at the Environmental Commission. I thank Scott, a former councilman, for his participation. We celebrated Mother's Day. We also had 50 meals for 50 days. Kudos to the Mariah School of Englewood for serving those meals. They had a vendor that they had paid. The kids are not in school, and they turned again to 111 West Street to our residents in the Englewood Housing Authority to feed them nutritious content. Also to the Ebenezer Baptist Church for giving out masks for free, and to our council president, and I think Mr. Hamer, who are, I think, genuinely concerned about reopening the parks, who arranged now for free masks, and to our deputy, for our OEM director, Joe Sorbonelli, for going out and getting them from a vendor that I had suggested, so that we are ready to teach our residents by example good health care and so forth. For healthcare workers recognition, we did on April 23rd do a sound off at the Englewood Health with neighboring police, fire, and ambulance. It was just stunning. Their message, the Englewood Health Hospital, is don't wait to get help. Englewood Health has implemented safe protocols to protect you. If you see something, if you have a symptom, heart attacks, strokes, they're still happening. Please take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. It's a safe environment. We memorialize and remember Dr. Herbert Dardick, a luminary and the vascular surgeon pioneer, the physicians at Englewood Health for 5 decades. He passed away of natural causes. We celebrated Earth Day on April 22nd. The Environmental Commission and Rotary Club will plant trees when it's actually safe to do so. To those who observe Ramadan, to our friends at the Mefli Shabi Karasyan Mosque, we appreciate again their solidarity with our community, and I had a privilege of addressing their community as well. I gave a greeting on their 6th night. I urge everybody to participate in the census, to complete it if you had not done so. It only takes 5 minutes, and the resource is so important. I would like, again, to tip our hat to the Englewood Police for joining the Neighbors app ring to help reduce crime in our community, which will notify the police directly. And again, to the extent that I have for the last 2 full months been participating on daily phone calls with the governor, with the county executive, with other city leadership, I can assure you that everything is being done. Everybody, despite the differences in speed and pace, are on the same page. Everybody loves the residents of the city, and we're trying to help get everybody back to speed. We do need to address the businesses in town in a smart way. I thank our assemblyman for working out some creative provisions so that alcoholic beverages could be purchased and delivered, and that the local businesses who we go in casually will actually be able to survive this. And whether or not we're going to stop traffic at certain points to allow retailers and restaurateurs to try to make up for other ground, if we're going to mark streets every 6 feet for social distancing and only allow in an aging community residents and pedestrians to go up and down downtown on opposite streets, we have to think out of the box, and we have to not only deal with the post-Amazon world, but the post-coronavirus world. And that's our mandate right now. We're all being tested, our metals being, and I just want to thank everybody again for the trust. If there are any blind spots or things that you're concerned about, I'm available. I'm fielding calls, emails, and I want to thank the leadership in the city again for seamlessly responding to all. Thank you, Mr. Cobb.
Councilwoman Glenn?
Good evening, everyone. I just want to make a very brief remark to thank the residents of Englewood for their patience as we're working through various issues and strategies to reinstitute the services that everyone's used to. Bear with us and let the professionals work through and come up with solutions. So thanks for your patience.
Councilwoman Rosenberg?
Thank you. I wanted to echo Mayor Wild's sentiments on the good and welfare items. Unfortunately, of those who have passed away, of loved ones of our colleagues, we wish you much comfort. And I also wanted to balance it, if I may be so humble, with some good news, which is that Michael Kaufman had a baby boy last week and named him Yaakov yesterday. So I wanted to wish him congratulations and mazel tov. I also wanted to
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also wanted to thank everyone for their patience as we get everything back online, and especially I wanted to thank Chief Suffer, and I see he's on this call, and the police department for how responsive they've been to constituents when they've reached out. I have seen a drastic increase in the amount of communication at a time when it's very much needed. So I wanted to share my appreciation and thanks with the department for that. And I wanted to add that I'm starting to hear a lot about closing off streets. There are kids home for the summer. Some people would like to have their streets closed off to through traffic so that the kids could play. I urge everyone on the call, if you're considering this, reach out to your council person to work through it with them so they can work directly with the city council president and the city manager on the best way to get this done if we're able to. I guess that is it. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying sane. And thank you for joining the call.
Councilman Cohen.
Thank you. I'll just keep it short. I just want to, as they've been before, but I want to just make sure to thank, each of our department heads, and Yancy also obviously for taking on the role that she's taken on. I don't want to say constituent complaints as much as constituent issues have, are constantly coming up, because just like we're all dealing with new issues, so are they in terms of how we're dealing with issues. And you're seeing a lot of questions, a lot of, and a lot of inquiries as to how we're approaching different things. And I have to commend each of our department heads who have been extraordinarily responsive, and really trying to, demonstrate that they're giving every effort they can in helping such situations. I got a lot of calls over the last 2-3 days, saying how residents were very happy that we opened up our parks over the weekend. I didn't hear anything from anywhere saying that there were any issues, but that doesn't mean there weren't any. But I haven't heard anything about any issues there. And people are constantly saying that even if they part of the things I was hearing in the week before, that even if they want to walk in social distancing, that without having somewhere else to go and walk and just sit, that it becomes increasingly difficult on streets to do so. I think that was something that people are seeing very positively, and we just got to make sure to continue speaking with our health department and our health experts and trying to all together figure our way through this incredibly unprecedented and difficult time. So thank you, everybody, and to all the residents of Englewood. We'll just continue to get through this all together and figure out the best way possible to continue moving forward and keep everybody healthy, safe, and try to do the right thing on these issues. Thank you.
Councilman Hamer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm certainly going to be brief, but I am thankful for all of the good that's being done, all around the city, and particularly from our department heads, and frankly all the way down to the city employees who face off against the public. And even though it's at 6 foot distance these days, those interactions still occur. we're entering the season, the summer season. We're entering the time for graduations and what's normally time for weddings. This is different. This is vastly different, more different than we've ever experienced. And hopefully we never get to see this type of activity again. But we are crafting a playbook, and we will be better prepared, whenever something like this happens again. I think that we've responded as a city in a very professional way, but with heartfelt sincerity and genuine concern for the people who live here and the people who visit here, as well as those who have businesses here. So we've got to prepare ourselves. We've got a very, very, very important election coming up, and it starts with the primary. And you'll be hearing a lot over the next few weeks about what's going to happen with the primary in July and how those votes are going to be counted and collected. So please take the information, share it. But the most important thing that we can all do is protect ourselves and protect our loved ones. So wash your hands, don't touch your face, and take care of each other. Do something nice for somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to say good evening, and I would start by recognizing our veterans, the ones who are here and the ones who came before them, that we all stand on their shoulders as they protected us, allow us to have the lifestyle that we continue to have today. I think it's important that we recognize that. And I would just like to thank, again, the first responders and the people who are keeping us safe and making us safe right now, and the contributions that they make, and the folks that we have in the city, from our health department to our police department to our fire department, our hospital, our OEM officer, and the things and the contributions that they've made. They've made it possible for the city to continue to execute on a daily basis, and that's between them and all our city employees who have met the challenge here and have done a very good job under these circumstances that nobody ever has dealt with before. So I'm very thankful, and I thank each and every one of the people that are doing that, because that job is so important as we continue to move this city forward. I think that there are a number of things that we need to look at as we move the city forward, and resourcing and the types of resourcing, because we're going to have to do business a little different going forward. But what I'd like to do is to try to build those things into the workshops, and we really address those things, because as Councilman Hamer says, we're developing a playbook right now on the run, and we need to memorialize those things so that if this ever happens again, we have a framework in place that those people could pull off the shelf and continue to provide the services, take the actions that are needed to run the city. One of the things that I'd like to do, and I think that the mayor touched upon it, is I would like to truly give my condolences to Bill Bailey for the passing of his parents. Think about the impact of that. And, Bill's been a good friend of ours, aside working for the city of Englewood. And I just like to give my condolences personally to him directly while he's on his phone call to him and his family. Secondly, I would like to also give the Skernicks my condolences on the passing of Blanche Skernick. What a gem, and a person who conducted themselves, exemplary. As you always saw, she was always welcome, and she will be missed. And what I'd like to do, and I want to put on the next council workshop, is a day of remembrance, and coming up with a day that we remember all the people that we have lost because we haven't been able to celebrate them in the way they should be celebrated on their transition. So there will be more to come on that, but I think people deserve to be recognized. We haven't been able to do that in the way that they should be in their contributions to the city. So there'll be more to come on that. I just think that it's important that we do things in that order and in that fashion. And I just think that, you know, I just want to thank, and again, I want to thank the leadership, all the department heads in the city. I happen to be fortunate enough to attend a daily briefing with them on there, and they're working very hard to keep this city moving. So I want to give them credit. The one thing I would ask everybody that's on this call to do is to remind people to wear a mask, wash their hands, social distancing. You know, we got a lot of people that are doing the right thing, but we still have some people that need some more encouragement. Because I don't want to lose anybody. I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be healthy. I want everybody to experience life till the fullest. And so we need to continue to encourage people when we see them, especially the young people, you know, and say, hey, where's that mask at? And we're giving out masks. We're doing those things. We can point them to a mask. So I think it's important that we do that as the leadership of the city of Englewood. We need to continue to focus. And when our folks come back to work, we remind them what the protocols are. And I think that would be something that we're just going to have to live with. So I appreciate the time and letting me in the platform to speak about these issues today. And, you know, think about how we can continue to move forward. You know, we all have differences, but the one objective should always be to make this the best city as possible. Thank you. Acting City Clerk, Yancey, it's your floor now.
I have nothing to report.
You have nothing to report? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That lawnmower is still going.
Excuse me?
That lawnmower is still going by me.
Okay, so we're going to go into public session now. And anybody who would like to speak has 2 minutes, name, address. Yancy, if you see them, you put them on.
A reminder to everybody in the public, at the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button. Click it for raise your hand if you'd like to make a comment, and we'll call on you. I'm not seeing anyone. Oh, here we go. Ms. Charlena Fields Hobson.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I hope those of us that are on this line seem to be well, and I hope they're all safe, as is my family, my dad, who's a veteran.
Yes.
I know this may be a little premature, but Mr. Cobb, I understand that stop sign has been acquired for the monument. And I know the workers are, not working up to speed because of the virus.
Yep.
But I took my walk. I'm, back on my feet now, and I took my walk the last 2 weeks, and I'll tell you, they still running that stop sign.
Okay. The chief is on, and Mr. Volsi is on. Maybe Mr. Volsi, if he would be so kind, as if we have the sign, does he have an ETA on when that sign will be installed? And I'm sure the chief is listening, and the deputy chief may be on as well. And they know about that running of that stop sign down there at the monument.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Because I almost got hit again. Just this past, about last week, I almost got hit.
Okay, Charlene, let me ask Mr. Volsi if does he have a date for that? Mr. Volsi?
Actually, been talking to a contractor regarding working on several intersections in town. If it's just installing that one stop sign for now, I'll speak with the chief and try and see if he can expedite that just to get that out of the way.
And remember, Mr. Volsi, that it's got to be before the walkway and not after where it is.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. And
very much.
Okay, and the chief is on, so I'm sure the chief is taking copious notes there about that one.
Yes, sir, I am. And I've also been in contact with Ed Roy.
Okay.
They usually install the sign from Public Works. So I'll make sure that we loop ourselves in with Franz and Edroy about that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. And I would
Thanks,
like
everybody.
to be there when it does go up.
Okay.
I started this.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did. I'll own up to that.
You got credit for that. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure I did. Thank you very much. Please,
All right.
everybody, be safe, be well, and yes, please wear those masks.
Yep,
Wash
you
your hands.
do the same. You do the same. Okay. Yancy, we have anybody else?
I don't see anyone else with their raised hand. Anyone else? Oh, Mr. Johnson is just waving his hand.
Yes, please let Mr. Johnson speak.
Am I up?
Yes, you are, Mr. Johnson.
Okay. I hit that button on the bottom of the screen here, but I guess it didn't work. I come before you, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words here. Gordon Johnson, Murray Avenue, Inglewood. I have, with the anticipation of the governor relaxing the rules on dining in our restaurants, I've been trying to, in a way, to help our restaurants in Inglewood, I guess, increase their income by this outside dining that will probably come about relatively soon from Trenton. In other words, as the governor relaxes the restrictions, the next one will be outside dining, and also realizing that the floor space in inside restaurants will be a lot different because there'll be less people allowed to sit inside. So in anticipation of this, these new relaxed rules, I've had an initial conversation, very short initial conversation with Council President Cobb and Councilman Hamer, and I spoke to Mayor Wiles briefly about this, the city manager, and I spoke to John Arthur at the director of the library, and Al Kroll of the SID, and also Carl Rauscher of the Chamber of Commerce about this idea of allowing restaurants to use the space in front of their restaurants or space in public parks to set up tables, and then they'll be allowed to have the customers dine in these public spaces. I conducted an informal poll, you could say, and I spoke to Noches de Colombia, Brisas at 99 West Pal, Broadway Cafe, Firehouse Subs, Starbucks, Benny's. I spoke to Tapas, and I believe the owner of Tapas is on now, is on the call now. He may want to say a few words. Akai, Daruma, Bartolomeo, Sophia, and Cassie's. All these restaurants, all but one anyway, were in support of having outside dining in front of their establishment if the city allows them to set up on the sidewalk, or, as I said before, in the case of North Dean Street, in Veterans Park, maybe set aside some space in Veterans Park for tables and allow the people to dine or have their food delivered from those 4 restaurants on North Dean Street, or maybe 5, to a part of Veterans Park. And that is why I come to you this evening. I know we're realizing that we'll have to get the health department involved in this. Of course, the mayor and city council have to support it, and a few other glitches. But I want to get this thing, if it's a yes, I want to get this going as soon as we can, because as I said before, if when the governor announces that outside dining will be allowed, then we need to know it has to be ready to go with this. Neighboring communities are doing this, by the way. I spoke to the mayor of Tenafly. He's working in his community. I think Leone is doing something with it too. So it's not like a first for all of us for this to happen. And I'll turn the microphone over to Ramon Diaz of Tapas if he wants to follow up with something.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yep. Yes. Go ahead.
I'm neither a politician or an economist. I will offer the brutal truth of what guys like me, which are many, are going through. Although I appreciate all the gratitude being expressed for doctors, nurses, first responders, police, and firemen, these people chose their careers and are being compensated. I did not choose to have my business closed. My employees did not choose to be unemployed indefinitely. My business has been shut down for 2.5 months. I have not paid rent for 2 months and probably will not be able to pay rent in June. I have not paid insurance for 60 days because the insurance company has deferred payments. Key word, deferred. If anybody thinks, oh, PSE&G is also not allowed to cut off service, so we haven't paid PSE&G for 3 months. But if anybody thinks we're going through the worst, just wait till these deferments come due. That's when you're going to see problems with businesses. Delivery and takeout are not the solution to any of these businesses. As a matter of fact, it really isn't working. Delivery and takeout is simply, in general terms, an augment to existing business. If I had a business that worked with delivery and takeout only, I would have 600 square feet, a counter, and 3 delivery guys. I have 3,000 square feet, for which I pay rent. I have $18,000 in real estate tax I have to pay. I have rent to pay. And this is just gradually getting worse and worse and worse. If the leadership of this town doesn't do something drastic to help us, you are going to see, at least on Dean Street, a far more, right now, I mean, everybody understands that businesses haven't been doing so well even before the COVID. It's been difficult times. Retail is struggling. Restaurants are trying to reinvent themselves with these platforms of Grubhub and Seamless and so on and so forth. So we were already behind the curve a little bit, and this is just quashing us. But if you think there's a lot of vacancies in town commercially, just wait in 3 months and you'll see what's going to be happening, because these deferments are going to come through and nobody's going to have the money to take care of this. We have a large area in front of our restaurant, the park. That park, I feel confidently, could be set up for all the restaurants on Dean Street, for Bartolomeo, for the ones on by Bergen Pack. Give us a little space. Give us space for 15, 20 tables of 4 tops. We'll space them out 6 feet. I am willing to pay for the tables and the chairs. I am willing to pay for a fee, but it is the only possible means of survival that I would have until this thing is over. If the city doesn't cooperate and allow our businesses to expand in these creative ways, we are all doomed. I assure you, I'm not exaggerating. We are all doomed. My landlord is going to be patient until he can't be patient anymore. PSE&G sooner or later will be able to shut gas and electric. The insurance company will cancel my policy if I can't meet and that is a recipe for disaster. That will force me to walk away from a business that I've had in Englewood for 16 years. So I implore you to please consider every possible option to help us survive this thing. Because a lot of people are under the impression that as long as we're open for delivery and takeout, we could survive. That barely covers the payroll that we have, much less any other expenses.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll be working, doing some things, but that's, we hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you.
Got it. Yancy, anybody else that would?
Can I just add just a little something? I was on a call with the county executive, and so was the mayor a week or 2 ago, and they were talking about the CARES Act funding that the county will be receiving. They are setting aside money for all the small businesses in the county that have not received any type of federal assistance, and they can apply for money that the county has received that will help them pay for their rent as well as utilities. I haven't seen anything yet put out by the county for that, but once we do, I would like to share that with both the CID and the chamber to help our local businesses. So just please stay tuned. This is one of the things that we have behind the scenes that we're waiting to be able to pass along the information, but we don't have it yet, but it is coming.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to host a meeting with the CID and the chamber, and we're gonna, in short order, to come up with some ideas how to come up to help these folks. Right? We don't want to lose them, so we'll put that on the workshop agenda as well as the outside dining. We'll just put that as topics for discussion. So we need those things in there. All right.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Cobb, if I may just add to Yancy, it was the county executive already received $182 million. We were one of 9 counties because we're the most populated and affected by COVID, and the funds have to be dispersed by December 30. So I would suggest to the gentleman who owns the proprietorship to reach out to the county executive and see how he's going to disperse it, maybe like a PPP locally for businesses. It's supposed to help the jails, the courts, but also small businesses like yourself. And then I think it's a super idea in Veterans Park to do something like that if we can. And again, you have our personal esteem. We all go to you casually. We need to be there for you now. And I also have a local business in town, so I know the way that this is affected. So good luck to you, sir. Thanks for stepping up.
Thank you.
Diane Jansen has her hand up.
Okay.
Hi, Diane Jansen, 589 Ridgeland Terrace. I just want to make a comment, and it has to do with approvals at the planning board and how then those approvals or resolutions are monitored once things get up and running. And my specific complaint is about the CSX sign, the LED sign that is up, that blinks. The resolution at the planning board had said that that sign was supposed to be turned off at 12 midnight. That sign has been running 24/7. We're quite a distance away from it. I could see it from my dining room table, looking out my living room window at any hour of the day or night. I can see it when I go down James Road and go to Madonna Cemetery. I could see it from the cemetery in the evening and in the day. So I have called, I've spoken to Walter about it. He was supposed to Walter Deptich. He was supposed to follow up on it. We will be following up on it, but I'm concerned about how stipulations are made at the planning board, and then they may or may not be followed through on the operating level. That's my comment.
Diane, can you send me an email with that? Because I voted against that, and I know I fought that tooth and nail, and they said that these were some of the things that they were supposed to do. You're absolutely correct. And I will make sure that this gets followed up on.
Thank you.
Because that was one of my concerns about how that sign, how it reflects in the quality of life for those people who live in that area there. So please send me that. I took a note already, but just send me a reminder email.
Sure, I will do that tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Yes. You see anybody else? You're muted? You're muted.
Sorry, now I have motorcycles going up and down the road.
Oh, okay. You're muted. So I guess we're at this part of the meeting where we're going to go into closed session.
Oh, wait, oh no.
Somebody else?
Miss Charlena raised her hand again, but we only, if you want to explain, we only do it once.
Sorry.
But let her go, because listen, we don't have many people, so we'll hear her again. She may have another thought.
Thank you very much. 2 things. I just heard Ms. Yancey talk about motorcycles. I mean, we're hearing barking dogs, and I know specifically where 2 are. And up until, I think, what's the ordinance, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m.? Am I correct?
I think the chief talked about this today in a meeting, right? What is it, 10 o'clock, I think, I'm not sure.
And then the music. Okay, I know a lot of folks are home. I like a little good music myself, but after 10 o'clock, I've had enough. Turn it off.
I'm going to tell you, today actually, Chief Suffren brought that up at another meeting, and he made some suggestions around that ordinance. So you just pushed it a little further now. So
yes,
okay, we got it.
I'm getting it from Herzog, Levisham. I'm getting it from Reese. getting it from Belmont, and I'm getting it here, right here on Oakland Street. I've had enough after 10 o'clock. I want to go to bed, and I got a 93-year-old who's got dementia that has his sundowning going on, and I want to get some sleep.
Okay.
And I don't think Chief Suffern wants me calling down the police station, because you folks already know I can be a pain at times.
Okay.
Okay?
right.
Thank
We
you
got
very
it.
much.
Got
And
the
it's
message.
for the second chance.
All right.
Ms. Hobson, I do encourage you to call if you have a problem after 10 o'clock, so that way the officers can go out, identify the location and the homeowner, and if need be, issue a summons if it's appropriate.
Okay, I'll do that, but I've called in the past and they've shown up an hour later. A whole hour, because I timed it once, sitting out on my back deck.
Sure, understood. And I'm not going to say that that's not possible, depending upon our call volume. But if you have a problem, please call, so that way we can document the location. And again, if we get multiple issues with that house, we can take action. And when it goes to court, we can have enough proof in order to get convictions for the noise violation.
Okay, I don't want to, I don't want anybody to have to go to court. It's just like, if people are more involved with Facebook and Instagram, just post it. I mean, send it in with but just let them know after 10 o'clock, take your dog in, turn your music down, or go back in the house. You can't dictate people, especially now because we all got cabin fever, but it's annoying. And I know it's not going to stop, because we have some chronic ones over here that do it for the last 2 years that I've moved back home to take care of my parents. But enough is enough, especially when it's 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Okay. Call, like the chief said, call them. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
All right, please. Anybody else, Yancy?
No.
Nobody? Let's go to, we're going to close the public session, and now we're going to go into close.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Gabriel Busbib.
Excuse me?
This is Gabriel Busbib. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, I would like to speak, if it's possible.
Yancy?
Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Hi, thank you again. My name is Gabriel Busbib. I live at 296 Taunton Road. And I would like to encourage the council to reopen the parks. I think it's very important to give people a chance to enjoy the beautiful weather. And we've seen that many states, including New Jersey and New York, have reopened the parks. And we have to trust people to know how to observe social distancing rules and other rules in terms of wearing face masks. But we should not continue forcing people to be confined in their homes, and instead we should allow people to enjoy the parks and enjoy the beauty of our city.
Thank you. We got it.
We did open the parks
I'm happy to hear.
this past weekend, and Flat Rock is opening tomorrow with certain
So
restrictions.
all the parks in the city are open now?
All of the city-owned parks are open.
I'm happy to hear. Thank you.
Okay. Yancy, anybody else?
No.
Okay, we're going to close the public session, and we're going to go into closed session. We need a motion to go into close.
Councilman Cobb, this is Bill. Before I do the motion, I just wanted to, on behalf of myself and my family, thank the elected officials, the staff, the employees, residents that have reached out and given us so much support. I'm really humbled by that, and just wanted to thank you publicly.
Thank you.
All right, on to the motion. Be it resolved by the governing body of the City of Englewood, meet in closed session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss litigation and matters within the attorney-client privilege, and be it further resolved that the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided it does not constitute an undue invasion of privacy or violate the attorney-client privilege, and be it further resolved that that the council will return to open session at the conclusion of the closed session, but it is not envisioned that it will take any formal action at that time. Just need a motion and a second and a vote.
Motion in a second.
Move.
I second it.
And
All in
also-
favor?
Aye.
All right, we're in closed session.
Okay, everybody switch to your next meeting.
We got to go to the.
Okay.
You sent us something, right?
I'm sorry?
You sent us something to go into closed session, right?
Yes, I sent it late this afternoon. I'm gonna go start it now.
Oh, okay. All right. Start that. Leave this one. Go to the next one.
Bye. Bye, everyone.